Hello, and welcome to the My Old Car video log, where I document how I maintain, repair, and occasionally make upgrades to my 1974 Chevrolet Monte Carlo that's been my daily driver since 1984. With dedication and tenacity, you too can make your first car your forever car and drive it forever.
There is a leak underneath the Cadillac. I have to figure out where that's coming from. It looks like the high pressure power steering hose may be leaking at that connection right there. It's the only thing that's wet, and I went and I traced all the little drippies. They coming off of the power steering, or rather the steering box, and no part of the steering box itself is leaking, but this appears to be leaking. At the very least, it's sweating. So let's replace this and see what happens.
So before I do any kind of repairs, I'm always, and I can't emphasize this enough, always check. First I get the part, then I always check it before I take the before I actually disassemble whatever that is that's broken. In this particular case, one of the issues with the brand new part was that these nuts were a little bit too big. They didn't want to fit on the on the wrench, and I don't know why, and it doesn't really matter. So what I had to do was to machine each of these facets down until it was the proper size for the wrench to fit, and it was a problem on both ends. Well, actually, before I did that, I had another steering box lying around just to see if these threads were going to work in that steering box. Because, if my thought here was if the flats, or if the actual wrench part wasn't going to fit, maybe it was a metric piece that they stuck on here with metric threads. Fortunately, it wasn't like that. So, anyway, with that done, then what I did was I put this heat insulation on here. And that's because of the proximity of this power steering hose to the exhaust manifold inside the engine bay. Because this here is the end that looked like it was seeping or weeping. So I figured, well, you know what? The worst that can happen is nothing actually gets any better, because this certainly can't hurt anything to put a heat insulation, heat protection onto this hose. So now that the part is prepared, I'm going to get started and take the old part out and then put this one in. Okay, so I already put a pan on the floor, and these are like some paper towels, because this is going to be messy. And there are no two ways about it, it's going to be messy. Not to mention, let's see here, there's when trying to film something like this, this is just a an observation. When trying to film something like this, there's just no perfect angle at which to do this. So one more thing I'm going to do is clean off the back of this thing, because I don't want to get any dirt in the system. For these kind of things, it's best to use a flared nut. This isn't a plug or anything like that. I don't have like sponsors and stuff, but I like these the old Craftsman, because as you can see, they're pretty thick. They're kind of heavy. They are not likely to want to spread apart when you put some torque on this. Anyway, here we go. Oh man, I am so concerned I'm gonna bust my knuckles on this. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. That was a close one. Woo! I'm gonna see what we can do about this other end. Alrighty, this is the bigger end, so Oh, Jesus. Big mess. Get some paper towel to clean this up. Get this out. Tidy this up. Oh man, what a mess. Okie dokie. Well, other than the mess, this got it out. Okay. Alrighty. I'm sure it was a lot of fun to get that hose out. Well, hopefully it won't be as much of a chore to get the new hose in. Let's see now. I think this is the end. Looking at the old hose. Yep, this is the end that goes into the power steering pump. Let's wipe this off first. Of course. Oh, maybe I should reconsider. Put this one on. See, that one, yeah, it's going to be difficult, of course. Anyway, let's try that. And I'll take two on this end. Okay. That looks good. Let's go to the other end. Oh man, I'll have to adjust this one. It's touching. Making hard contact with this brake line. So, I have to loosen this and adjust it. Alrighty, let's see now. I have to adjust this end now because now it's touching up against the fender, inner wheel well. And there are certain things where I'm all like, I really don't want these things touching, because when that happens, you're going to get vibrations and rubbing, and something might actually end up letting go. There. That should do. Nothing's touching. Splendid. Alright, let's tighten everything up again. Okay, let's slide this over the metal part, or the parts. Oh, then hope I don't lose that range. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good now. Like I said, there was no elegant, way I could figure out on how to film this. But this end is in there. The other end is in there. The heat shielding is on there. And the rubber is not touching anything. There's plenty of clearance around the brake lines, the inner wheel well, and everything else. Now, the only thing left to do is to clean up and test for leaks.
If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, please be sure to click the like button. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think it's time for a drive.